guys, it's Celestia, and I am finally back with the second episode of my print-on-demand series. For those of you who missed the first one, I've partnered with Gelato, the print-on-demand platform that I personally use for my art business, to create a 4-part series of videos teaching you guys more about how it works, how you can use it to start selling your own art, and what you need to know about getting started and setting it up. In the first episode, which I encourage you to go watch if you're interested, I went over what print-on-demand is, the primary benefits it offers artists trying to turn their art into a side hustle or even a career, how it helps freelance artists to diversify both their streams of income and the types of merch they sell, and what sets Gelato apart as the best print-on-demand platform that I've personally used. Throughout the rest of the series, I'll give you guys some tips on both how to price the products you sell and how to market them as effectively as possible. But, I feel like we should probably talk about how to actually make the products first, given that they do kind of need to exist before you can start selling them. So in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through the process of creating your first print-on-demand product, going over everything from setting up your store to making sure your art is ready and optimized to be printed on merch, and, obviously, to how to put it on that merch and get it listed on your store for sale. First, as I probably don't need to tell you, you need to open an online store if you haven't already. Print-on-demand platforms provide you the means of producing your merch, but you need to have your own store to actually sell it on. There are a lot of really promising options in terms of platforms to use, each with their own upsides and downsides. For example, let's look at Etsy and Shopify, two of the most popular e-commerce platforms that artists frequently utilize for their stores. Etsy's main advantage is that it comes with a built-in audience. They're a massive marketplace with a huge user base, which means that even if you don't have a big following of your own, the products that you choose to sell there will still have a very large reach, because Etsy itself does. That makes it a great option for beginners, as does the low cost. Etsy charges a small fee of 20 cents per listing, and all listings are renewed for that fee every month. Shopify, by comparison, charges a monthly fee ranging from $39 to literally thousands of dollars, depending on the plan you choose, making it a significantly less affordable option. That said, you also don't pay fees per listing, and you have ultimate freedom in terms of design. Etsy considers your shop to basically just be a page on its site, meaning it looks the same as every single other shop, and you can customize very little aside from your banner, icon, description, and organization of listings. Shopify allows complete customization and can be integrated into any existing website, and also gives you complete control. Etsy forces sellers to adhere to whatever changes their platform makes, including a lot of really unpredictable policy changes and inconsistent enforcement of them. With Shopify, you choose how your store is run, and you make your own policies. Both appeal to different types of artists, really, and they're only two examples. Print-on-demand platforms integrate with a wide variety of e-commerce options, with Gelato specifically offering integrations with Etsy, Shopify, Amazon, TikTok Shop, WooCommerce, Wix, Squarespace, and BigCommerce. They have a page that I'll show here that compares all of the pros and cons of each one, so I'd recommend taking a look at it if you're struggling to decide which option is best for your store. Once you've decided and gotten it set up though, it literally takes just a few clicks and seconds of your time to connect that store with Gelato. You just click here on the Stores tab, choose the platform you've built your store on, and follow the on-screen prompts to link it to your Gelato account. From that moment on, any product that you create on Gelato can quickly and easily be exported directly to your store's inventory. With that in mind, let's start creating your first product. Or mine, really, but it's a stand-in for yours. I'm going to show you guys two examples, a shirt and a canvas, because a big part of succeeding with your print-on-demand store is knowing what product suits your art best. I wouldn't sell this detailed illustration of Dazai being pretty in front of Yokohama on a t-shirt. A lot of the detail would be lost, and it's just not really the kind of illustration that suits apparel. Conversely, it would be much better suited to being sold and printed on a canvas or poster that not only preserves that detail, but showcases it as a major selling point. Similarly, I obviously wouldn't sell a canvas or poster with just my logo on it, because, why would anyone buy that? It's better suited to apparel by far. For anyone deranged enough to actually want to represent the channel by wearing it, that is. It could also work on a tote bag or a mug. And then there are outliers like this pop art Celestia design that was originally designed for apparel, but could also potentially work as a poster, canvas, or tote bag too. You have to assess each piece of art on an individual basis when deciding what kind of product you think people are most likely to buy it on, which is something I'll go into more in the final episode discussing how to market your print-on-demand store. For now though, let's start by going over the technical requirements that your art needs to meet, no matter what product you're putting it on. When I was first starting out, I was making art on canvases that were like 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. That's definitely not going to cut it if you want to sell your work on merch, so make sure that you take your art size into account when creating it for that purpose. Vector files that can be scaled to any size losslessly are obviously ideal, but that's not really doable for most illustrators. In my experience, using a canvas around the size of 3600 by 4800 pixels, or 12 inches by 16 inches, has worked well in ensuring that it can be placed easily on print-on-demand merch without any loss of quality. You're also going to want to make sure that the piece is either done in or converted to the correct color model. Most digital artists use RGB, but art that's printed on any physical product is converted to CMYK. So if it wasn't originally made in the CMYK color model, it might end up looking pretty off when actually produced. To avoid this, either create the work in CMYK to begin with, or switch already made RGB art to CMYK and then adjust the colors yourself so that you know they look right in that setting. But okay, sorry, I just said we'd make a product and then directly immediately proceeded to ramble more, so let's actually make it. First, go up here to the top right and click Create Product. You'll be given two options: upload your design to multiple products, or select a single item from the catalog. The first option is actually one of my favorite things about Gelato, because it lets you put the same piece of art on a multitude of different products at once, which saves a ridiculous amount of time when you're trying to put the same design on a variety of different types of apparel, like t-shirts, sweaters, tank tops, hoodies, and so on, because you can set them all up at once and it's just so overwhelmingly convenient. But we're not going to do that for the sake of the tutorial here, because single products are simpler. We'll do the t-shirt first because it's right here at the top, so why not? There are a ridiculous number of options to choose from, but I'm going to go with the tried and true Gildan 64000 because I've been using it forever, I'm familiar with and confident in its quality, and I really like how many color options there are. The first step is to upload and add your design, which you can then resize and move around so that it's exactly where you want it to be on the shirt. Then, on the sidebar on the left here, you can pick the colors and sizes of that shirt that you want to offer on your store, which is particularly easy because it previews what the design will look like on each color of shirt so that you can decide which ones suit it and which ones don't. Or you can just enable all of them and let people pick even the ones that look terrible with it, if they happen to have awful taste. More freedom to them, I guess. In terms of size, when selecting the ones that you want to offer, you should keep in mind that sizes larger than XL or sometimes 2XL cost more to produce. So if you want to make a profit, you'll have to adjust your prices. But I'll go over that more in the video about pricing, obviously. So for now, we'll just enable them all. Once we're done, we'll go over here to Continue to Mockups, which lets you pick from a variety of different mockups displaying how your art will look on those shirts. The ones that you pick will be the ones that are sent to your listing over on your store, as the primary image is advertising it, although you can edit them afterwards if you'd also like to include those that you've made manually using a plethora of other tools online that let you overlay your art onto apparel and merch as a whole. Once you've selected the ones you like most, you can move on to Continue to Details, a section that allows you to edit the title and description of your item to best communicate to customers what it is and why they should buy it. In the episode discussing how to market your print-on-demand products, we'll go over how to best title and describe your products to make the best impression and drive the most sales. But for now, let's go with something simple and move on to Continue to Prices. Shockingly, setting those prices is something that I'll again be explaining more in the prices episode, so we'll leave these with their default settings and come back to them again later. What matters is that you have complete control over how much each variation of your product is sold for, and Gelato clearly shows you how much each one costs to produce and ship, so that you know what your minimum price is in order to make a profit. Once done, we go to Continue to Review, and that's kind of self-explanatory. It's a review of everything you've selected so far. Then you press Publish, and there you go. It's sent directly to your store, and you can find it by accessing your listings on whatever platform you've chosen to host it on, and make any necessary final revisions. And from that point on, whenever a customer orders that product, the entire process of its creation and shipping is handled solely by Gelato and your e-commerce platform, with no oversight or action required from you at all. Now let's quickly repeat the same process for a canvas, just so that you guys can have an idea of how it differs slightly based on different products' parameters. The biggest one that you need to prepare for is that you can't place your art however you want it. After all, it is literally being stretched over a canvas. If it doesn't match the dimensions of that canvas, it will either be stretched or cropped so that it does, which might mean that it won't look the way that you want it to when produced. Because of that, you're going to want to edit it beforehand so that it does match the dimensions of the canvas or poster size that you want to sell it on. Personally, I just open Procreate, create a new canvas with the exact dimensions of the canvas size option on Gelato that I want to use, and then import my art onto it. Then I can resize that art based on how it will look when cropped or stretched to fit it, and make sure that it looks how I want it to. You can use whatever program you want, but I think it's important to manually control and prepare for the way that your art will be printed so that you can maintain its quality. Once you're satisfied, you can upload it to your Gelato canvas product, at which point you'll then be prompted to confirm its details, the size, orientation, thickness, and how you want the printing on the sides to be, a stretched extension of your art or a mirrored version of it, both of which can be blurred if you prefer. Here's my canvas that I had made of my comic cover, just so that you can see what one option looks like. Posters and other wall art options are very similar, and from that point on, the process is essentially the same as it is for shirts, so there's no need to go into it again. As you can see though, it's an incredibly easy, straightforward, and seamless process to create a print-on-demand product on Gelato, and immediately have it sent to your online store for sale, one that removes the barrier of entry for a lot of artists looking to sell their work on physical merch, and makes doing so significantly less of an investment, risk, and hassle. And if you think it's the right option for you, then stay tuned for the final 2 episodes in the series, where I walk you through my tips on how to price and market your products so that you can get as many eyes on them as possible. For now though, you should definitely check out Gelato. If you click the link in this video's description, you can try it for free and get 30% off your first orders if made within 2 days of creating your account. I've been really enjoying using them for my own store, and I am so happy that I switched over, so I can't recommend them enough. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Special thank you as always to channel members Joseph Solomon, TC Pratt, Hierarchy Saluzzo, Extinction Animation, Andy the Hedgehog, Kai the Memer, Jazz, Just Sayori, Hailstorm, Darkholder, Another Foxboy, Palestar, and Cybertory, as well as patrons Batman, Kyle Lowe, Kim Yen, Crazy Asar, Gentong, MG, Blomage, TC Pratt, Celine Moongazer, Eldritchiat, The Stray Dog, Decagon, Jenny Chan, Catbus, Lucy Yamajiki, Selena Beebe, Pride Day, Peel, Wingtang Wong, Marie Greer, Potato, Jazz, Voidwalker, Latte Tabby, Christian Cook, Adam Sorobietz, Doriaki, Various, Hailstorm, Emo Queen Jules, Show That's It, Craig, Greg, Scarlet Flame 234, The Names Are Gone, Lubuka Owo, and Art of Amethyst Fable, and I'll see you in the next one.